What happens if the Mets miss out on Juan Soto? Today, I'm going to give you 3 fullback names that could really help the Mets as we head into 2025. Okay, Met fans. So once again, we've been hearing the rumors about Juan Soto. Now the Red Sox are really involved. The Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Mets seem to be the 4 teams that are really involved. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers end up getting a meeting. But we need to have fallback options. Our season can't be all predicated on Juan Soto coming to the New York Mets in the 2025 season. Now, there's been a lot of rumors going around. I'm trying to bring up some realistic players. They're big-time guys, in my opinion. But one of them's been rumored to be on the trade block. The other 2, not necessarily, but they're heading into the final year of their career. The first guy that I'm going to bring to you is none other than Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker of the Houston Astros. He is a hell of a player going into his final season with the Houston Astros in his late 20s. 289, 23, 49, 993 OPS. The guy's an absolute stud. He missed a few games this year, but without a doubt, everybody knows what kind of outfielder he is. He is on that Juan Soto level, if you ask me. He would be a potential fallback option. All 3 of these trade options would absolutely cost the Mets a ton of their farm system. But if David Stearns is staying true to his word, that's the kind of guy that we would be going after, Kyle Tucker. So I want to get right into our second option. Our second option we spoke about in a previous video. I actually wrote an article about him. Get right into it. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I mean, how could you not be interested in him? Supposedly, he doesn't want to be back with Toronto. We saw his Instagram post from just this past week that he was at Citi Field for a concert. He likes New York. We signed his cousin. You know, there's a lot of T's and dots aligning. If we end up missing out on Pete Alonso, potentially Vlad Guerrero Jr. could be a bat that we trade for. 323, 30, 103, and a 940 OPS. When you think about that, he's another one of those players that had an absolute brutal start to the season. So when you look at these numbers, you know, that he ended up with, I mean, how could you not love a guy like that? He is another big-time bat, clutch guy, 26 years old. He's going to get paid a ton of money after this year. Maybe Kyle Tucker or him turn out to be one of those players where it's like, we do what we did with Francisco Lindor. You trade for a guy of that caliber, and then you sign into a long-term extension before he hits free agency. And third, but not least, my final candidate for the Mets to trade for, Luis Castillo. I mean, we wanted him a couple years ago when he was a Red. We were willing to trade a lot of stuff. A lot of people were comparing him to Noah Syndergaard, but you know, it's not like he's got bad stats. Last year was probably a little bit of a down year, but it's still a 3.64 ERA. The year prior, 3.39, 2.99. The guy is a hard-throwing right-hander, 6'2", 200 pounds. He'd fit right in with our rotation. He's already under contract for several more years after this at right around $24 million a year. He'd be a guy that I would expect to bring in. He could be a great number 2. So say you swing and miss on a guy like Corbin Burns, he'd be the type of guy that I would bring in and slot right into that 2 spot. I still think the Mets are in on Garrett Crochet. He is going to get dealt. It's not the White Sox are going to wait around and see. He's going to get dealt. The White Sox are completely rebuilding, and they view him as a piece where they could trade him and get potentially 2 or 3 major pieces. And those are the 3 guys that I think the Mets could have as fallback options if they end up missing out on Juan Soto. I still believe in my heart of heart that Juan Soto is going to be a New York Met, but you always have to have contingency plans. Let me know what you think. Do you like Kyle Tucker, Vlad Guerrero Jr.? Who knows? Maybe David Stern says, you know what? I'm so great at building farm systems. I've been doing this for a ton of years that I'm going to ship off my entire farm system and bring in players of these calibers, maybe more than one. I understand Luis Severino could be a fallback option, but it looks like Toronto's heavily involved with him. Severino's going to get paid, which I'm a little surprised. It looks like he's going to decline that 1-year qualifying offer. The Mets will get a comp pick for that, but I think he's going to be out of here. He's looking for a long-term extension. And as Will Salmon said on our show just a couple days ago, Sean Manaea might be looking at a 4-year, $75 million contract. If it's me, I'm not paying him that off a half a season. No way. 33 years old. It's going to be 34, 35, 36, 37. I understand what he did for us last year, but we also need to be realistic, and that's where we're going to rely on the expertise of a David Stearns. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If we miss out on Soto, maybe there's a player or two that I'm missing that I'm not seeing that we should potentially trade for. I know there's other free agents out there, but I'm trying to bring a different aspect. We can't get every free agent. That's just not how it's going to work. And remember, right after the season ended, David Stearns talked about, yes, the free agency market is great, but he loves to trade. You saw him do it in Milwaukee. Hader was in and out of there. He brought in Yelich. There was a lot of trades going in and out of there. Burns was traded out of Milwaukee. So David Stearns is not shy when it comes to pulling the trigger. So let me know if there's any other players that I'm missing out on. Until next time, peace.